Hello and welcome to the next episode of our Planet Coaster Harder Challenge Mode series. And in this episode, we are adding our final flat ride. But before we get too far into that, I do want to go over the series. If this is the first time watching, we do play with rules. So to make it a little bit more difficult for me. Now, unfortunately, we have moved pretty far into the series, so they don't make too much of an impact at this point, so we may consider making some changes here. But that is the theory at this point. So anyway, on to the build. So this is the Skywatcher, the observation tower in Planet Coaster. And I really wanted to model this after an air traffic control tower. Obviously, I think it's probably a little tall for an actual air traffic control. Maybe I'm wrong, but it is just massive in the game here. So, but the idea here is we're gonna put a building around it, kind of like the one in Call of Duty in what the heck is it? The Battle Royale game, the old Verdansk map, and just have like the little circle building around it. Obviously, it's not going to be too identical to that building, but I do like the way that this turns out with the curve around. Now this will house the queue, and it doesn't have too much color in it. It just kind of stays pretty, a bunch of whites and grays in it. We do get a couple windows so you can see through at different areas, and we add some stucco pieces to kind of add some of the detail here. But the initial part here, I was really struggling to figure out what set I was going to base this or use as the base for this. You can see I've got those corner, or I can't remember exactly what they're called, maybe it's cast stone pieces, we do end up using them, but we go through quite a few iterations before we start to rotate things around and get it into place. Now, the other thing is that because I'm using full wall pieces, it doesn't actually line up, which is an annoyance because I had to rotate a bunch of pieces and then remove a bunch of pieces a couple different times. So that happens, but we were able to get everything set up and taken care of here. So you can see right now we're starting to test to see how things are going to work. I haven't quite figured out that it's not going to work perfectly. So making some different changes here. Of course, our pillars here that are there to hide some of the imperfections. We have to kind of move them around. Now you can see I've figured out that we're not going to be perfect here. We're going to be deleting a bunch of things. So let's just go ahead. We'll get it set up and start getting things rotated. And this is always a slow process for me. When we're doing something that rotates, it's very rare that it works on the first try, or really even the second or third try. So you can see we're starting to get it. We found a reference point that we like on the pieces here, so we can make them look or be lined up almost identical to the piece next to it. We start to just take care of it, and it is a slow process because I had to manually piece these in, and this is sped up 10 times, so you can see I'm really struggling to get exactly what I needed. Now you can see I'm deleting half the circle because I knew that wasn't going to work. We did leave the one over there, just because I thought that that was going to work over there. And now we are working on the other half. Now, the one thing to remember is that we are going to have to delete that, which it's overlapping now with the pieces that we already laid down. So that was maybe one of the more annoying parts, but once we get this in, the build really, we start to knock things out pretty quickly here. And there you go, you can see we're removing those excess pieces to make it look a little bit more uniform. Get everything in there, start kind of shaping it the direction that we want it to be, and I think we do rotate this a little bit more. Yeah, I knew I needed to leave some space for the exit to be lined up a little bit differently. Obviously, this building's gonna be interacting with Empyrean a little bit, so that's definitely something. After that, I was like, you know what, I just want to focus on something a little bit different. So we go all the way to the top of the tower, and I said, you know what, I want it to look different. If everyone else puts their park in here, or puts this in their park, or the Skywatcher itself, they all look the same. So we need to add something on the top here, and it's a little big. It's a little big. It's a little bulky, but you don't see it all that much, so I was okay with it. We just used some of the glass pieces just to rotate them around, just to kind of give a bigger feel to this. So we're going to take a quick sip of our beverage. You know, if I did a smaller version of this, it might have been a little bit better, but I wanted it to almost feel like when the ride was up at the top, it was almost like a piece of it. I don't know if I necessarily accomplished that, but again, you don't see it all that much, so you get real close up to it, and we just fill in the gaps with some art shapes on the bottom so it doesn't have any holes there. So anyway, back to the queue and the entrance to the ride. We go ahead, we add in the entrance. We start trying to plan out how we are going to do this. We realize we do have to hide some pieces that I must have forgot when I was making the rotational parts. So we go ahead, get those lined up there, and we're starting to look good. Now it's some terrain work, just to kind of take all of this out. Now we are going to add a little bit of a small forest around the back here, just so there can be some separation. Obviously there is the hillside that is there. The hill is obviously going to stay, but we have to get everything lined up here. So once we get the terrain flattened out a little bit, we go ahead and get the queues in here. This is a massive queue, and my thought behind that is, this ride holds a lot of people. So even if this thing's full, it is a long ride cycle, so it's probably going to be a long time, but I doubt we'll see this thing get full all the way through. Anyway, I also wanted to make sure that we had a priority pass, and you can see I'm planning for that right now. It kind of works out. It's got this weird little thing in here. Obviously, the paths in the game were making this much harder than I wanted it to be. We take a quick sip of our beverage. Yeah, and I am getting over a cold from actually right after I put out the other video. I think actually maybe it was before that. I don't remember, but I was getting over a cold, so I'm probably gonna be taking quite a few sips of my beverage. But going through and putting the exit here, I had the idea that I was gonna maybe close this off, and I just didn't like it. I didn't think it looked right. So we ended up taking that out of here. I also had an idea for the sign, which you'll see. We have a couple iterations for that, and the first one is definitely not the one we settle on. So go ahead, close up the side here. It just works out that we can kind of squeeze in 2 full pieces there, and just by moving some of the pillars. So that works out. We do have to reposition some of the ooh, excuse me. Some of the paths again. So that fortunately wasn't too difficult. We were able to get them right down the doorway. And then on the other side, we duplicate it, move it over, and then we use the closed door on this side because no one's going to be walking through there because it's just the edge or the end of the queue on the inside. We do have these little blue accent fiberglass lights on the outside. I figured, you know what, let's make it a little bit more interesting. If any of this is going to show around, obviously the coaster is going to see it because there's not going to be a lot of trees on that side of the building. So we add those in there just to kind of keep it a little bit more interesting. And here you go. We are taking a look at adding our sign for the air traffic control tower. And yeah, I do not like this one bit. All of the different iterations that I've done on this, they just don't work for this ride. So what was in my head when I started doing this just wasn't coming to fruition. You know, even trying to tilt it a little bit made it a little bit better, but still just it wasn't working. So we completely abandoned this design here soon. Yeah, you see we're trying to tilt it now, getting that over there. It just doesn't look right. Doesn't look like it should be there. We try even I forgot that we even tried adding that whole thing there and then splitting it up. No, doesn't work. Let's get rid of it. And then you can see we also get rid of the closed exit there too. So we decided, you know, we'll come back to that. The next thing that we want to do is, you know, there's this weird gap between the building and the ride, so why don't we put some planters there and add some trees? That seems like that would make some sense there. So we go ahead, we throw those in there. Add in some little flowers and bushes, and then some of those Tuscan trees, Tucson trees, however you want to pronounce them, and then we just sink them in so they're not overwhelming. And we duplicate that and just kind of send it all the way around, leaving the entrance and the exit pieces open. And you know, that actually prompted the actual sign that we used for this ride. So you can see we're just kind of modifying some of the tree heights just so they're not so uniform. We also rotate them a little bit, and you can see we now added in some new planters, and you know, this will work to help cover some of the gaps between the paths as well. I also didn't realize that I deleted the wall there, so we have to add that back in, obviously. Unfortunately, that was the easy wall, so we just had to get those pieces replaced. Yeah, just getting these planters in, it just adds so much more of a nicer detail, something that you would potentially see for something like this. And then now that we've got a little bit of an idea, we go back and we say, you know what, let's kind of clean up the queue here. Let's clean up the terrain on the back end. We're happy with the way this is turning out, but we need to get the queue on the inside set up. And before we put in the flooring. So here we go. This is a big portion where we just rotate fences around to kind of get that perfect circular motion. We remove it, and then obviously because we have 3 paths on the one side and 2 on the other, we do have to modify it. It didn't have to be perfect, it just had to be so people weren't walking through it. And you know, we were able to get it pretty nicely set for the path work here. So now it's just time to get in the flooring, and we just use the wonderful concrete blocks. We just rotate these around and you know, have them offset a little bit so we don't have any Z-fighting, or we have minimal Z-fighting. Also, for whatever reason, some of the pathing was not functioning the way I wanted it to, so we had those issues, but you know, we kind of made quick work of that, get that all sorted out. We weren't perfect by any means, but we get the pathing done, we get the floor back on there, and it is all looking pretty nice. So overall, yeah, I like the way that turned out. You're not going to see it very much, so we're not doing too much detail on the inside. And then for the outside pieces here, just expanding the planters and adding a little beam there just for the difference between the tarmac and the concrete. So we'll take a quick sip of our beverage. And then we are going to go in. So this is a 2-story building, but only one level is going to be functional. But I did not want, I wanted to have it still split into 2 stories. So right now we're adding in the ceiling for the lower level, the floor of the upper level, if you wanted to call it that. But like I said, no, nothing's going to be up there. We go ahead, we adjust the arch-shaped pieces just so there's nothing sticking out on the outside. And we got that all looking pretty nice. There are going to be some pieces that I'm sure I've missed, so I know there were a couple that I had to adjust later in the episode. Actually, it might have been off camera that I did that, but we were finding this all over the place. And then, of course, we do have to add some lights in there as well, but to start, we duplicate that layer, put it up as the top ceiling, change the color to black, and then we add way too many air conditioning units. So we go ahead and delete a couple of those, make it a little bit more realistic, and then for whatever reason I felt like something was just missing. And you know, when I saw the ride go up, I noticed that, you know, there's a pretty big gap down there. Like, how would people get down in there? So we add this like little maintenance shed area, and maybe this would be how you get to the upper level. Maybe there's like some type of maintenance office or something like that in there. But we just kind of make this little corner piece here and add a door to the side of it, and you know, I think it just kind of works. I think it looks really good for what it is and how simple it is. And you know, as we get the extra little detail pieces in here, I think it turns out really nice. And then we duplicate it, put it on the other side, so you have it on both sides. And then we do also add our add the door to the base of the part of the flat ride here. Maybe we do have to adjust, of course, the inside, so you can't just see into that. So we have to sort out a wall. We put a door wall in there, so that closes that off. Maybe there's like a stairwell in there. That would make a lot of sense. A stairwell for people to get in and out of there. So, yeah, you can see now we've found some pieces that we're sticking through on the inside to our roof here. So we have to go and adjust all of those. And that takes A little bit longer than I would have liked, but you know, such is this game. This game takes longer than what you would expect. So here we go. We're adding in those doorways just to kind of seal that off and add that little extra bit of realism. Now, back to the sign. Now that we've got the bulk of the ride completed here, we've got the ceilings and all that stuff. We have to change the sign here. So we do not use the big font. That's just way too big for this. You know, I really wanted the idea of having some type of arrow on this ride, or at least for the sign. And you can see, there we go. We get rid of the font. We go back to opening that up a little bit, and yeah, now we're trying to make an arrow. Obviously, that is way too large. We do make a smaller version of this arrow, but we use some of our fonts here. Unfortunately, I can't remember who made this font, but I use it a lot. It looks kind of odd with the way the lighting is right now. You can see I tried to do an arrow there, and I was like, no, that doesn't look right. We'll find another way. I may consider changing this font just because it doesn't seem right. Something doesn't seem right. We do try get another arrow in the eye. Don't like that. We really tighten up the font here a little bit. And kind of move everything off to the left, and that does allow us to get the arrow off to the right here. So there we go, and then we just put tower in the middle there, and I think that kind of balances out the sign a little bit. Obviously, we have to sink it down a little bit, and you know, I think it looks pretty nice. We do add some bushes there. The darker blue obviously also makes it look a little bit more balanced. Yeah, getting the final touches to this part. And then we have to do the lighting and the area around this ride. So I wanted this ride to have a little bit cooler lighting. So obviously in the inside, that's not going to be too much of a concern. We just need to light the area. But I do use some light blues for the other parts, I believe. Maybe not. Maybe we just go and start working on propeller smoothies. We're going to have to take another sip of our beverage. Sorry for all the beverage breaks. Yeah, so we go ahead, we move propeller smoothies around, and obviously we wanted to have the little backstage area, so we focus on trying to get that in, and how this is going to interact with Empyrean. Obviously, it's a high-speed portion of the coaster, so we're going to need some very strong don't die fencing. So we get the high wooden fence that doesn't have any gaps in it, and I think that kind of works out. We also got our little concrete pad around the back. It also leaves a little space for some trash and whatnot. We do put some of those trees in around the back just to kind of break it up, kind of hide the back end of it from the view from people on the coaster. So we do that. We do add a little curb here, which I didn't realize it was green there for a while, so I'm messing around with the colors eventually, but we get the curb in here. The terrain in this area was up and down, and for whatever reason when I would try and smooth it, just wasn't working. So the curb looks like it's at different heights. It's the same height all the way around, but because of the different levels of the terrain, It changes and says it's a curb. I wasn't too concerned about it. We get a little bit extra bushes, add in some benches. Ooh, excuse me. And there were some big areas that I just didn't like the way they were, so we duplicate some of these flower pots or flower planters. We do not keep the one in the middle there. I can tell you that right away. We do keep the two that are currently in there, and try and add a bench around the outside of them just for some additional seating. I did not want to put any trees in them. I didn't think it would make sense there because we have some signs and they would skew the sight lines that I was trying to achieve there. So we get those in, and then now it's just tidying up the rest and the back side of the air traffic control tower. So we add in a bunch of trees. We make a small forest on the back here, just because there's not going to be much in this area. So we wanted to tidy this up as much as we could with as little as we could, even though trees are a little bit heavier on the usage here, graphics usage, but we get those in. It creates a nice little wall, and then we do leave the area on the other, like the this side of the air traffic control tower untouched, because we will handle that in one of the upcoming episodes. So I do like the way this turned out. We get a little bit of lighting in here. I hope you did as well, but we are quickly wrapping up this episode, so I will see you in the live portion. Welcome to the live portion of today's video. And today we add our final flat ride to the to Mattford Airfield. And you can see it is our tallest ride yet. It is an observation tower called Air Traffic Control Tower, and it's got this little building that goes around the outside, which houses the queue. So I like the way that's turned out. We did readjust where propeller smoothies is a little bit, and overall, I think it kind of rounds out the area a little bit, gives a nice little plaza here on the other side after we go through this congested area. I did not focus on this because this is we're just going to kind of tidy up the area. Really, this whole thing will probably be done in the next episode. So, and that will fully finish Mattford Airfield for now. But let's take a look here at the build. There is nothing fancy inside the building here once you come past the sign. We do have a priority pass, but it is just as boring as a queue as you can get. And I mean, this is a massive queue. We do have the entrance right here, so as we come through here, it's just one huge queue, and then we've completely done a full circle pretty much around the attraction, and then you have to come all the way back just to get past back in here, and then once you're in, you're on the attraction, obviously. So yeah, really like the way that it all kind of worked out. We have like little maintenance things here. We added doors to the bottom just to kind of give that added realism. Yeah, I think it turned out pretty good. We updated our fencing around the back here to be a little bit more reasonable. We also added this tree line in the back, and the reason I added that is I just wanted something to kind of separate the area from what's going to go back here. So obviously this is nowhere close to being done. Actually, let me switch the camera around here so I can swing it. Yeah, this is nowhere close to being done, but I do think it adds an extra level a detail, and then obviously once we start adding on the other side of this, which will probably be a very long time from now. So, uh, yeah, but happy with the way everything's turned out. I did forget to switch the colors on these people. I also forgot to do that, I think, for aerial attack here too. Whoa, didn't mean to hit that. Um, so we might have to do that off camera here. I'm not going to bore you with that in the live portion here. So, but anyway, I think we should probably jump into the management features, because I think we're going to have a few things that we're going to have to do. Obviously, we're going to have to open up propeller smoothie and air traffic control tower. So, yeah, let's jump into it. Empyrean is so expensive. That is interesting. It is aging. We are going to go ahead and let that prestige here. It's at 932 currently, so let's just do some quick calculations here. So we take that prestige, divide it by 35, and that gives us the maximum number that we can charge currently, which is $26. So yeah, so we are way up there. Let's just do, actually, let's do 23 to start people getting on there. That should sort that out. Park is great. Everything else is looking good. Empyrean is our most profitable ride, so there is that. Also, the original propeller smoothies also doing quite well. That's right in this area down here. So, so that is all looking pretty good. I don't care about graphs. I had a terrible time. Got pickpocketed. That's no fun. We do have a pickpocketing problem, but you know, that's just part of the game. So we'll work on that as we get there. Ooh, that's a fun alert to get, but let's see here. So the side entrance, so this one right over here is maxed out. And honestly, I'm not too concerned about it. So, yep, won't worry about that. Where were we here? Ticket prices, yeah. Alright, so finances. Wow, we had one heck of a month there for coaster sales. Empyrean and Steel Eagle doing wonders for us. Our small attractions making a little bit of money. Ride running costs, obviously, we're making money everywhere. We even had a good month for ride ticket sales, so that's probably with aerial attack now being open. We had a couple rides that are now in a revival phase. So that's going to really increase the number of people in the park, and then also increase the number of people riding our attractions. Priority pass sales, we are starting to get a little bit more consistent. I don't think we're quite enough yet, but you know, we'll get there. We are not charging for our entrance yet. We will work on that eventually, but we have quite a bit that I want to get through here quick. And when I say quick, it's not going to be quick. Our shop sales, I mean, look at this. We've actually made money on our shops recently, which is insane, because we have been negative 2,000 for the last, I don't know how many episodes. So that is pretty awesome. Our hotel is doing pretty decent here. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with all of that. Park management, obviously, we're going to lose a bunch of money. We have a lot of staff. We are running a lot of scenery stuff, so that's going to happen. Construction, that's obviously a one-time charge because it's me building everything. Yeah, we're looking pretty good. Whoa, look at that spike there. Yeah, that is probably, we must have had a bunch of things go down and then all of them come back up. I know aerial attack just came back up, so that was probably part of it. Research, marketing, not worrying about any of that at the moment. Alright, our staff. And as always, if you are interested in becoming a part of the park, please let me know in the comment section where you would like me to hire you, and I'll go ahead and get you in here. You can see we do have some people in here, Arch, M&J Games, uh, as well as a bunch of other different people. So if you're interested in that, just let me know, and I'll get you hired into the park at whatever role you are interested in. We will just find a way to make it work, and considering we have $550,000, I think we'll be just fine. But anyway, going through here, our entertainers, they are doing great. We have Daniel Pospichal, K Dancer, Alfian, all just doing wonderful, wonderful work. They're all happy and not overworked, which is nice. We got some janitors. We don't have any viewers in the janitor realm, so if you're interested, could be the head of the janitors, which would be a pretty cool person to be. Even though it is being a janitor, it's someone's still got to lead them. So yeah, in terms of everything here, they are looking pretty good. No one's overworked, everyone's normal, so pretty happy with that. Vendors, this is where it always gets interesting. So we are going to have to hire some workers. We got Goku over 9,000 up here doing some awesome work. Everyone else, we got some low people here. But they're resting in a staff building, so I mean that is to be expected. A lot of people resting in a staff building. He's heading to a shop. How do you have high workload if you're heading to a shop? That doesn't make sense to me. We're not gonna. And you're at the front of the park, so like you're not making any money up there. So who else do we got? Serving customers, waiting to serve. So okay. Let's just jump in. Where are you at? You are in Wing It. It's a pretty decent area there, so maybe we need to switch here. Who can we switch? Who has a low workload? Let's see. Who's got low? Steel Eagle Courtyard. So let's go ahead, switch you there. And then Crystal, we will move you over to the Steel Eagle Courtyard once I find you. And that should reduce some of that. It'll also let our more experienced vendors, yeah, see, upset. So she should be making her way out of there soon. And that should be just fine. I'm thinking that's probably because of, this is just a high traffic area. Maybe we should even switch Linwood. But, we'll wait to see what happens. And we'll come back to the vendors here because I know we're going to have to hire some here shortly. But our mechanics, they're looking good. I don't think we even need to get an extra mechanic yet, so that is fine. Our security, M&J Games, Jiu-Jitsu J, doing some awesome work for us. We do have 3 people that we have to train up here. And there we go. So all those people, we have a bunch of security guards, so we should be just fine there now. So now our work rosters, Mattford Airfield is getting quite large, and we're gonna obviously go ahead and add in some more things here. Let's just make sure we got everything that we need. And we are going to add 2 more vendors, actually, because we're going to get Propeller Smoothies open. So let's just go ahead and do that, and then we have to get our we have to hire in 2 more people, and let's go ahead and pause it because I'm going to need to go. We're going to need to update their uniforms. And let's see here. Burl Ship. No, Burl Ship and Luang Gleason. Welcome to the team. Go. So we got the colors. Let's get Luann in uniform. Say it was that. I don't remember. What did I? Blue, tan, white, gray. Okay. Blue, tan, white, gray. Blue, tan, white, gray. And Burl, blue, tan, white, gray. There we go. We're going to make sure that both of them are Mattford Airfield. Now we will have to keep an eye on them to make sure that they don't get overworked since they are newer. And if we have to, we'll have to switch them out to a new location. But you can see one's already heading in here. The other one's probably going to go and walk right through this planter. So that's good. But I think this propeller smoothie probably not going to be super successful for a while. But you never know. I'm thinking people are probably going to start to come over to ride this. Hopefully we'll get some people riding ATCs, we'll call it, the air traffic control. And we'll start to look pretty good here. Now, moving on to our guests. Nothing really else before I jump over. Nothing else that we really need to do at this point. The staff buildings are definitely busy. Yeah, I don't think we need that. It's just the nuance every so often where we get someone that's not able to, or like it's just full and one person's looking for it. So I'm not too concerned about it. But you know, we'll see what happens, and we'll keep an eye on it. We are going to put another one in here, or maybe over here. One of these two areas, they'll have a bathroom and staff building, and then the other will have some type of shop or something, I would assume. But yeah, looking pretty good here. On to our guests. 99% happiness. Energy is a little bit lower. Hunger and thirst are always an issue. And then toilets, obviously, always an issue as well. The key for baggage carousel, yes. Balloon flight is so expensive. So that is something we will have to adjust here. Priority passes for suckers, yes, we are aware of that. And everything else. People want a souvenir. And, you know, I'm really afraid to do it. But, you know, we do have a souvenir shop that's not functioning currently. And, you know, we do have a bunch of money. Maybe we just do it. Maybe we can start to get people in here to start buying some gifts. Alright. We're going to do it. Which means we're going to have to hire some people. And this should be interesting. This will definitely impact us a lot here. We'll probably start losing some money. But I guess we should hire three more vendors since we're going to be doing that. I don't know which. I assume this is in main entrance. Okay. We should probably make changes. Main entrance. Outside of. No, let's just see outside. That should be fine. Front of park. There we go. That's what we need. And we'll just say this is the inside, just to help me remember a little bit more. Let's go ahead and hire 1, 2, and 3.
Oh!
There we go. 2, 3. Let's pause these guys here. So we got Jerry Wenzel. We had blue, tan, white, and gray. Welcome to the team, Jerry. We got Brian Lance. Blue, tan, white, and gray. Welcome to the team. And Marcy Deaton. Blue, tan, white, and gray. Alright, so that's going to open up all of those shops. Or both of those shops, I should say. We need to update their pay. Okay, we can do this from this menu. To vendors all the way to the bottom. Okay. And we need to put down front of the park, and front of the park. There we go. Alright, perfect. So, I'm not worried about them getting overworked because it is going to be slow for them, I think. Maybe in the odd chance we'll see someone start to go in there and buy stuff. But I'm thinking probably we have Looney Tunes over here. And, I mean, this isn't. It's kind of busy. Okay, well maybe it is doing all right. We'll see here in a little bit. Only 10 thefts. That's good compared to what we had been doing. Ooh, it's making some money. All right, that is awesome. So, yeah, doing all right here. Let's move in here. Yeah, so that all came out of the people looking to buy souvenirs, which I no longer see. Oh no, it's right there. Okay, so people so happy they want to buy a souvenir, so that's good. All right, let's get into our rides. We're gonna focus on last month's profits, and Empyrean did wonderful work. Aerial Attack did really well. Crankshaft actually made some money. Balloon Flight made some money as well. And actually, we had a notification on that one about it being overpriced. So let's see here. 516 divided by 35. It's 1475. I know this is going to go up, but let's just do 15. Just to kind of get some more people in there. We will review it as we go through here. So that should be fine. Let's see. Scissors Classic made 848. Probably because we have people now over there because they want to ride Crankshaft. This is the Baggage Carousel. It's making a little bit of money. Parking Tram. We don't necessarily want to make a bunch of money on this, so that's good. Whirly Rig is not open. The Skywatcher, we have to rename this. Air Traffic Control Tower. Is that good? Yes, it is. Alright, and we got 588. So 588 divided by 35 is 16.8. So we will just do $15 here to start. And honestly, the colors, pretty happy with them. Maybe we can do something a little darker. Let's see. Oh, I'm doing operator color. So it's not going to change any of that. That's fine. Just a little darker. I do like the whites, so we're going to keep that. I do kind of want some music on this one, so I don't know what Wednesday afternoon is, but we'll leave it. Then we want to do a full load, and we're going to make this, let's do 300. Because this is a long ride cycle. Also, this will be low priority because that line is absurd. And overall, I think we should be good. Reverse spin. Do I change that? Shh. What happens if I do that? What? I didn't think you could. I mean, obviously, I know what it's just going to spin the opposite direction, but like, what will that do for our prestige? Does it go up and down twice then? Or does it just go up and then, or is it at the top? That's where the ride cycle is. I mean, obvious. Okay. All right. That makes me feel a little bit better. Now, will it come down on the reverse spin? Or will it stop and then spin back the other way to come back down? Oh no, it does spin back the other. It does spin this way. Okay, and it goes down quick. I mean, obviously we are going faster too, but all right, I do like that, so we will leave that there. Actually, let's keep fast forwarding here. 841. Okay, yeah, that is a much better number here. So 841 divided by 35. That's going to put us at 24. We're going to do 22. Oh man, we have things breaking down. So we'll get that open here. I think that will really start to pull people over. And then I think we are good there. Q scenery rating, of course, that's 100 because we put a whole building in there. Carousel actually lost some money, which is kind of weird. Steel Eagle lost some money, which is also kind of weird. But it must have just broke down. Stunt Pilot lost money. That's, I think, kind of to be expected a little bit. The Prestige at 679, yeah. Now that Crankshaft here is drawing some more people, I imagine. Yeah, look how many people is this drawing. Where's our... Let's change our camera here so we can swing a little bit better. Yeah, it's still not that long of a line, so I think that one's good. I do think that something must have just happened that they were breaking down. Hercules, this ride I think should just be fine. I don't think we're gonna have... This is reviving, so that's good. What's our prestige at? 613. That's probably a little high. Let's just automatically drop that to 17. That should draw people in a little bit more to Hercules. And we should be looking pretty good there. So moving on to our shops. Propeller Smoothies, $981. That is insane. Wing It, $565. Barrel Rolls, both of them doing over $300. Baggage Balloons making $230. I mean, everything there is just... I mean, vending machines are making $100, so that's really good. Even the new Propellers Smoothies made $20 last month, so that is awesome. Now, for the ones that are losing money... Okay, there's quite a few that are losing money. Obviously, the tickets, the guest services, all that stuff are going to lose money. King Coasters, Keepsakes, we just opened those and they're losing money already, which honestly, that's not too bad. Bear Paw Eats Pizza Pen, that still baffles me that it does lose money. All the guest services, Corky's is kind of away from everything currently, so those make sense that they're losing money. The other wing at Tiki Tiki is losing money, which is odd. And then the ice cream shop, which hopefully that will kind of turn itself around when we start building on the other side. So overall, pretty happy with the way the shops are looking. Facilities, obviously we're going to lose a bunch of money there. Small attractions, making a little bit of money here and there, so not too concerned about that. The Sleepy Steward making, $430 last month. That was good. No restaurants, nothing like that. Security, we have 8 pickpocket victims in the park, but they are doing pretty good, I'd say. Active vandalism spot, active theft. Yeah, we're obviously, since we've added the cameras in, we've started catching more, which I think is good. Nothing that's vandalized at the moment, and of course, all of our, what's it called? Special effects. Excuse me. So yeah, so park is really coming along here. I'm really happy with the way this has turned out. I probably should turn it on. We do have a little bit of lighting, nothing too spectacular here. We do have the name on the side of it, and we also did a little top thing up here, but that's nothing too crazy. Yeah, overall, pretty happy with the way this has turned out. Do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like. If you saw something I could have done better, let me know in the comment section. And if you want to see some more awesome Planet Coaster content, please subscribe to the channel. So again, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Later.